Sucio Talk. Recording live. Sucio Talk live here at Lita, Walnut Creek. I just said Walnut, like just Walnut. Walnut Creek. Hanging out with Chef Sean Streete over here. Mr. Streete on Instagram. Chef, how you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
Nice to have. Thanks for having me, man.
Happy that you're
here. This is a lovely restaurant.
Thank you.
How long you been here now?
Goodness, just over a year.
Okay.
Just over a year. Yeah.
Just over a year. All right. And where were you before here?
Just prior to here, I was doing a lot of my own private.
Like private in-home?
Yeah, like private in-home. I still have a few in-home clients. I have to kind of defer to other chefs.
Okay.
Yeah, back out in most of which are in like Napa Valley.
Got you.
Napa, Sonoma.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was doing some consulting for a restaurant that I had worked for out in Mill Valley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just trying to figure out what's next, what I was gonna do next.
I hear that, man. I hear that. And so here on Sucio Talk, we take it all the way back, baby. We got to go all the way back. Where were you born, bro?
Well, I was born in Kingston, Jamaica.
There you go. Okay. Okay. What year, Chef?
He said, I'm gonna allude.
He said 1994.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. Yeah,
1994. Okay. There you go.
I'm gonna add.
How was life growing up there?
I didn't grow up there. I came when I was one. I think I'm not sure the situation at the time.
Right.
I think there was like some political movement to where that they opened up the visas, allowed some families to leave.
Okay.
I think my parents had the opportunity to get out of there and try to go do something, try to help build a family.
Right.
Abroad, being the U.S. We took off. I think the story is that like we get to the airport. One of my parents got held back. I'm thinking that it was my mom.
Mm-hmm.
She got held back. They wouldn't let us just all go at once. So it's like I believe my father and I came. My mother had to stay back maybe a few months,
mm-hmm.
and then she was able to join us here in the U.S.
Got it. So let me ask you this, because I moved from Puerto Rico when I was 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you get those people that are like, oh, where are you from? And you're like, oh, I'm Jamaican. Oh, when you move here? When I was 1. And then they're like, oh, you ain't
Jamaican, right?
You ain't really Jamaican. You know what I mean?
That's the ongoing. That's been the ongoing thing. When we're going back and visiting family, it's like, yeah, you're the Yankee boy. Right? Right? It's not necessarily from the family. But you see them, they'll bite their tongue and, be a little more respectful. But it's like when you're dealing with the rest of the public, you're not Jamaican. But then it's funny because when I did eventually move back, not to skip up, but when I did eventually move back, and some people say, oh yeah, some people say, oh, you're not Jamaican. But then some people say, oh yes, you are Jamaican. I'm glad you came home.
Right.
It's like this mixed emotion or mixed
yeah, for sure. It's a weird feeling.
Yeah,
because you're like not enough for every group you're in, and you're like, what the fuck am I?
That's exactly the conversation.
But food, fortunately, kind of gives you an identity, whether you like it or not. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes.
Hell yeah. So you moved when you were 1. Where'd you move to?
Moved to San Jose. San Jose. My one of my uncles, on the Trinidadian side of the family.
Okay.
My mother's side of the family. He had already established himself in San Jose,
Mm-hmm.
veterinarian. Veterinarian. And that was like our segue. That was like most of the family's segue into California. Everybody was go spend time with him or
Mm-hmm.
go live with him until we got our apartment, moved out, and just build from there.
Right.
Yeah, that's something. As far as family in California, they've all stayed time at my uncle's house.
Okay, got you. So he's like the one that brings everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it. Hell yeah. So how does it work for citizenship coming out of Jamaica?
Citizenship, I know. I believe I didn't get my actual U.S. citizenship until I was maybe around 10 years old.
Right.
I know I remember there's a period of time where we were just back and forth to San Francisco and the immigration offices,
trying to do all that
and memorizing the Pledge of Allegiance and all
right,
of that.
Because you had to take the test.
Oh yes, I had to take the test. And I remember it was nerve wracking.
Yeah.
I think one of my memories from there, I think just just because it's always about food, right?
Right.
I remember just one of the little a diner that was like maybe just outside of the immigration office, and it had a Reuben sandwich.
Okay.
And I know my mother and I have always ventured into food that wasn't the norm,
right,
within our culture or community. And so I just remember one of my fond memories of childhood, even though that was like a nervous time, it was going to this place on a couple occasions and getting this Reuben sandwich.
Okay.
I was like, man, ever since then it was.
It's a wrap. That's cool when your parents are into it.
Yes,
it took me a long fucking time to get my parents to different food. You know what I mean?
I've been lucky to have my mom that's always pushed the envelope. As far as I guess to a lot of American society, it's not really something out of the norm. But like within my community, or my mother and I going and eating sushi from when I was a child, that was something that wasn't like, if we say, if we ask my father to go, he's like, no, you guys go on about your business.
Right. Go
on about your business.
He's like, I'm staying
we don't eat that stuff.
Yeah, that's funny. Okay, so did you visit often?
For having lived in California, going every 2.5, 3 years, I would say that's often.
Right, for sure.
Until the time when I lived in Miami and started that every 2 to 3 years, and ended up being like every 2 to 3 weeks.
Oh wow, okay, got you.
Yeah, that's when I really like dialed in as far as like, okay, this is my culture.
Yeah, hell yeah. So, what were your first interests when you were growing up? Sports? Was it more video games? Like, which side were you on? I think is video games. Cutting school, right.
Play video games. That was like one
from this.
That was one of my. Yeah, that was definitely one of my downfalls as far as schooling goes. But yeah, video games. Goodness, shoot. That was
You spent a lot of time doing that shit, bro. When you were a kid, right? Especially at that age, at the dawn of that time.
Right.
Because I feel like for the first time, parents had somewhere to put their kids.
Okay.
Right. Because TV, whatever, but like now you got mindless hours of entertainment.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I feel like our parents were at a time where they were like, I can't believe I put this shit out and this motherfucker don't talk to me for 8 hours. Like, this is a miracle drug. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So yeah, I can hear you with the video games. Sometimes I feel bad about how much time I spent on it, but then I feel fortunate because I'm like, at least I didn't have to do other shit.
Heard.
You know what I mean? Like, it kept me out of the street as far as I was concerned. Because if I wasn't inside playing, I was gonna be outside doing something. You know what I mean? So it's like,
I think I spent a lot of time watching television. I know it was always frowned upon,
right?
But it was funny because
TV raised you.
Yeah, you're not gonna say that to where my parents hear that. But it was something to where there's a lot of information. At least then, back then, there was a lot of information. Like KQED was. Pushing out a lot of information,
breaking documentaries.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think I'm not sure the format as much. I don't see the format being the same now. I'm sure it's still informative, but yeah, it's funny because I'd be in various circles growing up, and I'm talking about something that's going on maybe abroad or something. I have some type of information that most of my peers and stuff wouldn't have. I'm like, well, where did you get the information? I watch television all the time.
Right.
I was watching television all of the time because I know we didn't get a video game system for a long time. I remember my father came home with like a video game system at one point, and me and my sister were, through the roof.
Right.
But I guess I'm not sure if he had purchased it for my cousin's family or my cousin. I'm not sure what the transaction was, but it was something where it wasn't ours.
Right.
We didn't get a video game system until maybe a couple years. A year or two later, or
right.
At least that's what I remember.
You're like, why are you even bringing that here?
Right.
Why are you bringing that mess here?
So,
that's funny.
Yes.
Okay, so you went into that side, and then how was school for you? Did you like school?
I felt I was sharper than most of, I guess, with having this information.
Man, say that shit, bro. I went to school with a bunch of dumbass. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool.
Well, I think I was good. I think up until like third grade, I was like a prospect for spelling bee and all that type of stuff. Then all of a sudden, fourth grade hit. Man, I just wasn't there. I started cutting school, going and playing video games.
Right.
That was my thing. Just cutting school, and then I think my mother's trying to, like, your parents are always trying to figure out what's best for you and why you do what you do and that type of thing. That, like, my mom's like, Sean thinks he's smarter than the instructor or than the professor,
right?
Or it wasn't holding my attention. My mother and I guess I think we shared the same thing. She said that at one point she said maybe you should be a few grades ahead of where you are now.
Right.
She said she had held me back from doing that because she was pushed ahead at early on in her schooling, and she said that at that point she failed. That's she was superseding everything, all of the
right, the
points in school, and then when she was pushed ahead maybe a grade or two, that all of a sudden she fell on her face. So she was scared of she was scared of that being the outcome with me. Looking back, I'm like telling her, like, I would have still done that. Exactly. I would have
been fine.
I'd have done it. Yeah, it would have been good.
Yeah.
I'd have been good. But
I would say school in the islands is definitely harder than school here.
I would, definitely. I would say so. And I might have been fortunate to not. I mean, just the way I guess my personality is. Might be fortunate enough to not have done schooling there. I mean, I'm not sure if I would have adhered to the rules and to the strict
right.
I won't say guidelines.
Well, there's like in Puerto Rico, there's uniforms. Like, it's a whole thing over there, right. And it's like you go to the mall and there's like 4 or 5 stores that just have the clothes of the school. And you're like, I don't know who pays for this. This is weird. And then over here, it's like you're getting roasted for what shoes you're wearing,
right?
Or he's poor. Or look at this. It's like, God damn, man, you cannot win.
You can't win. I mean, I think my taste of like what that, I guess a lot of the, not private schools, but that type of school system would have been was like, I know in first and second grade I went to a private Christian or Catholic school, and it was all about you had the uniforms and. Yeah, the uniforms, and the teachers had the green light on whooping you, So it's like,
really? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Damn, man.
Right. But I mean, I think following second grade, I think I went into the public school system
in San Jose.
Yeah, most definitely.
What the fuck is going on in San Jose?
There are times when I was a person that wanted to get up and walk out of class.
Right.
And go use the restroom periodically. I remember one time the teacher
sharpen your pencils during the lecture.
Right. No, don't do that.
Mad loud, slow.
Right. One time my teacher just was like, "Okay, you need to use the restroom. You need to go use the bathroom. No, you sit right there in your seat and use the restroom right there."
Right.
Because I was back and forth. I ended up using the bathroom right there.
Right.
In the middle of class.
It's like, well, you dare me to do it.
Right. But I wasn't the badass kid that's kind of like pushed back on the instructor. I was the one that would kind of just not be there.
Right. And it's often Sean's off in his own world.
You're not feeding my
right
whatever it is I need. So I just need to go do something else that's going to be a little more intriguing.
I know you're into art a little bit. Did that kind of stem? Okay, I'm doing good at art, because you weren't good at the academic stuff.
I didn't know. As far as the academic part, the other thing of interest was just I was the one that was always assisting my mom and my grandma with cooking.
Okay,
so that was when there was free time. I think my free time was in the kitchen or close to the kitchen. As far as art, I could never draw. I could never. I think I took when getting into culinary and just hearing the term culinary arts. That's where I was like, okay, I'm able to express myself. Trying to think of where it all came together. Because up until a few years ago, that's when I was like, no, I'm not. It's like I started bending this corner where, like, am I a chef or am I an artist?
Right.
I'm a culinary artist, or I started just like playing on the words and just figuring it out or trying to figure it out. And I was like, no, what I'm doing is artistic, and it is giving me the outlet.
Right. This is a sport, I would say.
Heard.
Like I think a lot of people are say, what is it? Is it art? It is definitely an art, but it's an art like basketball is an art, like good basketball is an art,
Okay.
or like just because like to be back there, to have as many things as you have going on and then still be able to execute, like that takes a lot. We don't see it because it's just every day for us, like whatever.
Right.
Throw somebody normal back there. They can be like, what is going on here?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like they don't know.
Right.
So, I always look at it as a sport because there's moves that you do. There's like pivots and like little things that, so I think that if we looked at it that way, I think it would be a more interesting way to train for it too.
Okay.
I feel like culinary school should be like, you should have physical training. You know what I'm saying? Like we should have gym class in fucking culinary school.
Right.
Can you run? Can you lift 50 pounds?
Yeah, endurance.
Up and down the stairs? Like, like firefighters and shit.
Pre-COVID, they're doing it for 16, 18 hours a day.
Exactly, bro.
And most definitely. I mean, I think it's like a lot of, people always say, okay, this is your passion. This is what you love. I'm just kind of trying to tie it to the art. I think there's a when people say, oh, this is your passion, or is it your passion, or I was like, well, that's like a loaded question. I'm passionate about certain parts of the industry, and my answer would change at every 8 months,
right?
Yeah, 8-month intervals. But I mean, I think there's an art into managing people,
right?
Managing your people, an art into being able to being full throttle in the back of the house. You come out here and you just have to pivot and have that smile on your face with the guests, yes, and show that poise.
Right.
So yeah, those are the things that I'm intrigued and passionate about now. As far as in this sector of my career. I mean, I'm
performance.
Yes, I'm passionate. Yeah, I'm passionate about the numbers.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what I was.
Did we make money?
Yeah, did we make money?
Yeah, at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Right.
And that's when you you switch over to the other side, because when you're a cook, you feel bad that you burn the steak, right? But other than that, you don't know what it costs to burn that steak.
To burn that, right? Correct.
Correct. You cost us, time at the table. You cost us money at the table. So it truly is a hard thing to manage, man, because a lot of times motherfuckers got to go. Hey, you made a mistake this bad. You cost people money. Like, you got to go.
Yeah,
and in this new climate, it's definitely hard to have consequences.
Right.
Because it's seen as like you're an abuser, like you don't know how to handle people. And it's like, bro, some of these people cannot be working in food. I'm sorry.
At all. I mean, jumping on the back of that, I mean, one of the mottos is check, please. I mean, like when somebody messes something up, like, a steak, or, I mean, of course, it's not going to be the first time, but if somebody messes up a steak the second time, I'm on the phone with HR ordering their check, their final check. So it's like, that's one thing that I'm talking with my sous chef. I'm like, hey, what did he do? What did he do? What did he spilled something? He spilled XYZ, or he did XYZ. I was like, check, please. We don't have time, and there's not really any space for, that type of error, especially in this climate.
Yeah.
For it to not resonate with someone to, oh shoot, what did I just do when I sent out this toasted, completely blackened steak to this guest that was asking for a medium rare steak. We don't have room for any time. We don't have any time or room for that type of
it's difficult,
neglect.
bro.
Yeah.
It's like that last check thing that you're talking about, it's like you need, by law, you need that shit when you can somebody. You can't just be like, hey, you're fired.
Right.
And so it's got to be this, it puts you in a state of like having to do this like premeditated shit where you got to like, okay, we're going to fire them on Tuesday, but they worked Sunday, they work all weekend. It's going to be weird, but whatever.
Right.
Because we need them. It's like, wouldn't you just fire the person? You know what I'm saying? I think they should make it easier for jobs to have consequences without all this HR nonsense, because I feel like some of the corporate structure doesn't fit within kitchens. It's not the same. You can't govern a banker the same way you govern a cook.
That's true.
It just doesn't make sense, you know?
That's true.
It's two different things. So that's why I think we have such a hard time with the corporate structure.
Heard.
And is there people that take advantage of not having a corporate structure? There's always motherfuckers.
Of course,
you know what I mean?
And that's,
So that's where we lose.
Most definitely.
But man, we went a long round to say you didn't like school. Basically all that to say.
Oh my goodness. Yeah,
I did not like school.
Did not like school.
Okay.
I did not excel in school. I barely passed.
Did it make you think about college?
I think I'd wanted to. I think my dreams with regards to college is like, okay, I'm gonna get I'm gonna go get me a football scholarship. I'm going to Penn State.
Right.
I think that was my thing.
That was the
Penn
dream.
State. But in reality, my grades weren't there to where I was even able to play. I mean, sometimes I'll play the first game of the season, and then it's like, all right, Sean, you have to your grades have to come up before you continue. You know, I can't remember how it worked, but in order for you to continue to play, you still have to hit your C average or whatever it was that you had to, the prerequisite in order to continue with the league. So I was never able to actually play. So I was like, okay, so mom's was like, who do you think is gonna pay for your school? You want to go to college?
Yeah.
Who do you think is gonna pay for it? It's like, they're not gonna pay. You better get yourself together and get some type of scholarship or whatever, whatever have you. Yeah, I was never there to even have any scholarship talks.
You're like,
I scraped by, but I was always good with numbers.
Yeah,
I was always good. I think again, early on, spelling I grasped that early on. So I mean, I was sharp. I was sharp. I just wasn't. I guess I wasn't book smart. I was television smart. Good with math, or mathematics. That's why I think my first real job out of high school. I was an accounting assistant.
Okay.
Yes, I mean, yeah,
like in the wearing a suit.
I mean, yeah,
shirt.
Most definitely,
Okay.
most definitely. I mean, going through school. I mean, even stepping back as far as like the clothing. I mean, I'm the one in school. I'm the West Indian that's in school. So I'm wearing. I never wore Nikes. Always had dress shoes on. I wore slacks.
Right.
So I was that one guy. I was that guy. I was that guy. You dress up. Where you going? I was like, yeah.
Get the belt, everything.
Sometimes, most definitely. But yeah, I would definitely be that one person. Like, why do you have a button up? What are slacks? And why are you wearing those dress pants? You going to church? And it's like, I don't go to church.
Yeah, I dress like a fucking man.
Right.
That's what's going on.
Right. That's what's going on. Like, definitely. Definitely.
I wish our parents gave us the fucking strength to say that shit when we were young. My mom was always like, if they hit you, hit back kind of thing. But she would never be like, hey, don't start nothing.
Okay.
Okay. Till later in life. But I'm just saying, like, when you're a kid, that shit's valuable. You're like, yeah, these are my fucking shoes. Like, what's up?
Yeah, give me the ammo to fight back.
Exactly.
Because most definitely that was a constant. That's a constant thing.
Yeah.
Up,
and it's like, and then, you kind of, when you put it on every morning, you're like,
I know what I'm going to deal with today. With my fight today.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I just remember for the most part being like, it's from junior high up. I was always, I mean, throughout my whole life, I might have owned maybe four pairs of Nikes.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, and my first pair of Nikes I'd ever owned, and they weren't Jordans. They were like some Nike Airs. And I don't know too much the difference because I'm not really into sneakers too much. But because of exactly what I just explained to you. But the first pair of Nikes that I remember my mom bought for me is because I was trying out for the basketball, 10th grade basketball.
Right.
All right, I'm gonna get these Nike Airs for you, and there's $65. And I still hear about this to this day.
Yeah, they're like,
because they purchased the shoes and they used to have to try out for the team. Oh my goodness! Yeah, the Trinidad mother, and I didn't make the team.
Oh
God, she'll still tell you she'll still talk about the story to this day. Yeah,
you still own the shoes, or they
right? No, right, right. You remember the story always comes up. Remember when Sean made me go buy the $65 Nike Airs? And she's speaking in her
Well, with inflation, them things are like probably 200 now.
Oh, yeah, right now, right? Most definitely.
Hey, man,
she's still there with it.
That's the thing about inflation. It can help island parents talk about price for years to come.
I'll tell you until they bury you. Yes. But yeah, most definitely. So yeah, that was my first pair of Nikes. Every pair of Nikes I've had since might have been gifted to me. So I mean, that was like the first and last that were like purchased in-house.
Yeah. I love that. That's so funny. So sports didn't pan out for you.
No.
So you're just trying to figure it out at this point, which is where most young cooks are like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
So where do you get your first kitchen job?
My first kitchen job, what was my first kitchen job? My first real kitchen job? Okay, my first kitchen job, O. Henry's, I'm not sure if you call it, it's called O. Henry's Donuts.
Oh, Henry's Donuts, okay.
Oh, Henry's Donuts. I mean, it's not really a kitchen job. But hey,
started at KFC.
That was well, KFC is.
Get
you ready for life. Yeah, I know.
Get you ready for life.
No, people. You've seen people that still that are not in food that have their first cooking experiences in KFC, and you see them progress through life. It's
that place makes 30 grand a day.
Yeah,
30 grand.
Yeah,
I'm like, after I learned numbers and shit, I was like, man, we were raking it in at that spot.
Right. It teaches you some life.
Most one-star restaurants don't make 30 grand in a night.
Right.
And I'm like, just put that out there, Colonel Sanders,
So yeah, I'm just sorry. That's why I don't frown. I mean, I don't frown upon any type of fast food situation.
Right.
At one point, I mean, again, when deciding to go through culinary school, I mean, one of the options was to go and do some type of McDonald's management corporate position. I was like, those guys are cleaning it up.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys are cleaning it up. So yeah, but food, sports didn't work out. And the thing that I remember just always plays through my head, even now to this day, is like, so like, Sean, what, it's my parents speaking to me like, Sean, what are you going to do? You can't make any money cooking. So I was like, okay, well, that's not an option then. So then, that's one of those things I kind of like shied away from. It's like, I'm cooking with my mom, cooking with my grandma, and I'm me out of like all of my cousins, the close families. Like I'm the only one that's like cooking amongst the people that are going to be passing all this stuff down. But then at the end of the day, they're telling me you can't make any life. I'm trying to think of what the exact words were, but you can't make a life from cooking. So I'm like, damn, okay, then what am I going to do?
Right.
I'm good with numbers. I guess I'll go be an accountant. Accounting assistant. Job, fairly easy. I started looking for, what's next? I mean, in order to make the big leap at that point in accounting, you have to have your degree. Because now I'm looking, okay, I see the CPA, that's the in-house CPAs or the CPA team that's in-house. I'm like, okay, I want to go that route. Okay, so I'm doing school part-time and, college part-time and that type of thing. And I'm like, I'm never going to get to where I want to be. And then the real estate took off. At that when real estate took off, my ex-wife at the time, well, ex-wife now,
right,
but my girlfriend at the time, and I, we decided we're going to get into that industry. Like, I mean, I'm good with numbers. She's good with speaking to people. We both just kind of like just broke into like a lot of mortgage finance.
Oh, dope.
Yeah. So at that point, I was like, well, forget this accounting business. But now I'm over here making this real estate money, which is like equivalent to like his like drug money at that point.
Right.
Like, damn, this money's coming. The speed in which people were making money when the real estate really took off in the Bay, it's crazy. It's crazy. And we ended up having several rental properties and homes. Living,
Yeah.
I'm running to Vegas every 3 weeks.
Right.
We're taking, family trips abroad whenever we wanted to. It was crazy.
Dope.
It was crazy.
Hell yeah.
It fell straight out of what's the not the Wolf of Wall Street, but there's a like boiler room. I know I know that was I think that was the culture anyway during in the whole mortgage finance.
That's
or
cool,
real
man.
estate,
You're doing it with your wife at the time, or
kind of like
kind of partner in crime.
Yeah, most definitely.
Good,
yeah, so we were chipping away and going that route. It was like after you're sitting there making money just to make more money, and of course I'm not putting it away. I'm not outside of us acquiring more real estate and that type of thing. It's like there was no end goal. So now we just got to make more money. I mean, we got $2,200 a month in car notes alone, $13,000 a month in mortgages. It's foolish. It's crazy. It's crazy. You get into that cycle. It's wild. Following when the bubble had burst, we kind of that's when we went our separate. We separated. We eventually divorced. I realized I was going into the money, getting into the doing the business just for the sake of the money. It wasn't anything that I was building upon. It was just
you lost your passion.
Yeah. It's just out there just doing this and getting this money.
Right.
That's at that point. That's when I was like, you know what? I'm not sure if you're familiar with the book Into the Wild.
Familiar with the movie.
Is the movie? Okay, the movie. I had the book in the hand, just constantly flipping through it. I was watching the movie on repeat. Around that time, I was like, you know what? I'm going to Jamaica.
Right.
Going home. So then I think at that point it's like, yeah, we separated. I went to Miami. That's where Miami came about with as far as my life goes. I went to Miami. A lot of my family that had lived here at one point in California had already kind of retreated to Miami.
Okay.
Because you're going back home to the Caribbean minus the Caribbean, right?
Right.
You right? Right. That's what it was. That's how I was
quick trip, come right back.
Yeah, right. So it's like you're going back to the Caribbean, but you have infrastructure because everything below Fort Lauderdale you're in the Caribbean. It's not sometimes you're driving down the freeway. It says you've exited U.S. territory.
Right.
And maybe 3 miles down the road, you've re-entered U.S. territory. I was like, wait a minute. No, I'm on the same freeway, just going straight. And it's like, yeah, what's going on over here? So it's just different. Everything's governed different.
Right.
I think
the wild, wild west out there, bro.
It's different. Yeah. It's different. Different laws and bylaws. It's the South.
Like people forget it's the South still.
Yeah, it's the South still. I think again, like Fort Lauderdale down or West Palm Beach down. It's almost like you just refer to it as South Florida, right? Or Miami. People just kind of group it as Miami, and like the Cubans kind of run things down there.
Right.
And it's the laws and bylaws. Right. You're not operating within the U.S. anymore, and it's different. So yeah, I went there, was able to reconnect with like a lot of the family that 70-80% of the family that was here in California that like went back over there. I was able to get that sense of family again because jumping back to growing up, us being a Caribbean family, we didn't have much friends outside of our circle.
Right.
People talk about having this set of friends growing up. I was like, I didn't have very. My friend was my cousin.
Right,
we were always yeah. Oh, where are you going today? I'm going to my other cousin, going to my uncle's. We the Trinidadians, we call it liming, where there'll be like the football games, which is American soccer. Football games on the weekend, go straight to one of the family's houses. Straight from during the weekdays, boxing. School boxing. Nice,
a lot of boxing.
Nice. Yeah. This was football and food, so I would always be the one associated with any type of food preparation in any of these settings. But with the whole going back to Miami, it was like almost like a pit stop on the way to Jamaica. Because I was like trying to get there. I'm going to Jamaica every like third weekend. It's just as if we're like, it's like the time it takes to get to Jamaica from Miami. It's just like us flying to LA from here.
Right.
Just like go up, come down, go up, come down. So I was doing it like constantly. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and make the jump. I think I'd finished up my culinary school when I landed in Miami. That's when I was like, okay, what am I going to do with my last set of money here? That's when I invested in Le Cordon Bleu.
Okay,
that's where I got my actual culinary degree.
Did you get some of the money back for the class action lawsuit from them?
Oh no, okay. No.
Just saying.
Someone asked me about that just the other day.
Scheme, bro.
Someone, you know what? Yeah, I know. Yeah, someone spoke to me about it in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
They're like, did you same type of thing? Did you ever get some of that money back? You need to look into that.
Yeah.
I need to. Yeah, I was like,
telling you.
Some of it, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it is. Sometimes, sometimes people leave money on the table, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it is. I think I kind of defaulted to where like, okay, I'm kind of grateful for what it offered or what it.
Yeah.
What it allowed me to do, or it was a tool I needed to get to my next
exactly
next step in the kitchen, right? But I ended up moving back to Jamaica, trying to absorb all the culture that I was missing as far as like living here on the West Coast, just so far from it. Like with Jamaicans, our inlet into the States is either New York or Miami. So I was so happy to having moved to Miami. And then, of course, on home to Jamaica, all of a sudden I had all this energy that I never really feel here on the West Coast. I was like, I was into the wild. I'm he's in the movie. He's saying, I'm going to Alaska. I'm like, I'm going to Jamaica.
Right.
Going home, getting out of the rat race.
Right. I'd slow it down a little
bit. Yeah. I was like, man, just, go ahead and just figure out and do what it is that you love or meant to. Or was meant to do or meant to be in life. Yeah. And so it was so fast.
And so when you moved back there, did you moved in with family first?
I had auntie there. I had an auntie there, but most of the time I spent on kind of flashing back with all of it in my head. I worked for Sandals White House.
Okay.
And so I was able to stay on the resort.
Okay.
So but like majority of the time I'd be on the resort. On the weekends, the driver would come pick us up, take us back to where I was living was Montego Bay at that time. So so it was just kind of like so it was most of the time spent was on resort.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. And so culinary school, you live in Jamaica now. How long do you end up living there total?
I'll say a year and a half.
Yeah.
I was constantly having to come back. I still had to. I was still finishing up never really did all the paperwork for like the divorce and all that stuff initially. It's coming back to California. I think we were still dispersing our properties, trying to figure out, trying to let go of them or do whatever it was that we had to do with them. So I was still I'll fly back and forth to either whether checking in on the properties that we had tenants in or that type of thing. So I was kind of like back and forth still. What brought me back was my father was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer.
Okay.
And so that's what brought me back. I was like, I swore off, coming back. I'm like, I'm into the wild. I'm gone. I'm
right.
home. I'm where I need to be. At that point, they were living in North Florida up by Jacksonville. And that's what brought me back. I was like, I'm going to come back, help you with your situation. And then at the same time, your parents are like, no, you need to go live your life, go do what you need to go do. But I'm like, no, nothing else matters. I'm here. Right. So now I'm back in Florida for almost a year. I ended up working in St. Augustine, under a black chef, in like St. Augustine, like one of the oldest cities in the U.S. According to record books. And so it was a nice historic city. I mean, a lot of beauty in it. I was able to see a black chef, Chef Dewan Roy. This would be my first kitchen that I've actual kitchen that I worked in at the Casa Monica Hotel. I was working there, getting acclimated to kitchen culture. That's when I'm
at this point. You're a little bit older than the normal young cook, right?
Yes.
So how was that?
So going back to like culinary school. I'm the one that's going in there and like, shut the up.
Yeah. Like
some of us are paying for this. These, I think the ones are younger. They're like, you know,
they're like, this is our college.
It's like college. It's like one big dorm. I'm like, so I'm going in. I'm working. You know,
I mean, you already lived the life. You were married.
I already did it. I did it. Yeah, I did it.
Like, I've been in successful real estate, baby.
Right.
That's funny.
And that's what it is. I was like, but it was like constantly walking into class and just like, shut the no.
Right.
And it's like, and then okay, instructor, teach us. Let's go.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, shit, I'd love to have you in my class. Tell these motherfuckers to shut up.
That's what it was. It was crazy. I was like, some of it was like, again, I was paying for a lot of it out of pocket. So I was like, no, you know, I know you guys are here on grants and all this stuff. I was like, no, I'm cash on the table.
Yeah.
You guys saw me last week. I had my S5. I had my Mercedes. I'm pulling up to class in, and I downgraded that. It's like, you guys.
Yeah,
I'm here. I came with the money.
Real time.
Yeah,
you're watching yourself become a.
Right. I had shipped a couple cars to Florida. I had and everything that was tricked out about a car. I'd done it.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but yeah, and then just
I hear you.
humbling yourself,
exactly.
humbling yourself, which is constant. Where were we? Yeah, I came back. I was like, I'm working for the chef in St. Augustine, learning the ways, just getting acclimated to the culture, the kitchen culture.
Right.
I'm thinking I'm killing it. Sous chef, yanks me up by the shoulders, like, fast.
Right.
I'm killing it
That's
right now.
That's a horrible feeling, isn't it?
Oh, my God.
You're going as hard as you can.
Hard as I can.
Just pulls up to you need to go harder. You're like,
go fast. It's like, and then you gave me gave me one of those whole talks. I don't know what we're going to do.
Right.
Don't know if you're going to be here tomorrow.
I don't know.
I don't know. That's a Chef Matt. I don't know, man. I'm trying to, because he's the sous chef that, the chef is like digging on in the back.
Yeah.
He's the one that's getting a lot of the grunt of the man, get this guy up to speed. What are you doing?
It's ultimately his fault that
that I'm failing.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there like, got through this Friday service, killed it. No, not it.
No.
Don't know. We don't know how long we could put up with this.
Right.
We might have to bring somebody else in. I'm like, wow.
That's how it is in those jobs, man. Like corporate be like having to give you 3 sit downs and shit.
Heard.
Kitchens be like, yo, if you don't get better,
he was fired.
You're like, you have 2 days.
Yeah.
You have 2 days. And that 2 days, it starts now because you're prep. You started prep today, right? But yes, I mean, that was my first like real, when cooking in Jamaica, it's, again, I'm over there on, dual citizenship, and I'm the Yankee boy. So it's like I walk in the kitchen, the Jamaican chefs, they're like, chef, go have a seat. Want me to cook you something? I was like, no, I came here to cook. No, go over there, have a seat.
It'd be your own countryman.
Yeah. Oh my God. They did me so dirty.
Yeah.
So when I come back to the States, oh, you cook in Jamaica? I was like, okay. I'm not gonna say yes or no because I'm gonna mess with my resume, right? So yeah. A little bit. Yeah. So yeah, just
how did you get to somewhere where he was like, okay, now you're good? How did you find that extra push?
I think it's probably bad to say, but I mean that it felt I was pushing to an extreme. I knew I'd aspired to work, my thing was like, I aspired to work in a fine dining restaurant attached to a hotel. It was just, I never wanted to own my own stuff at that, majority of my career up until maybe the last couple of years. But yeah, fine dining it was like a 3 or 4 star, boutique hotel.
Yeah.
I think Marriott was a primary, but I'm trying to think what the sub company beneath it, but it was one of their boutique hotels. It was a nice place. So I'm thinking that I'm pushing it and I'm killing it. I'm at this beautiful place. I don't know what flipped the switch or at helped me get faster, but I'm thinking, I'm not sure, in the kitchen, the kitchens at that time, I know still to this day, alcohol and drugs.
Right.
Yeah.
Shit gets you through.
That gets Boy, that gets you through. Yeah.
You know?
And it's, I think that's when I was like, of course you're hand in hand with it. I mean, you're next to the next person, and you're like either trying to cope, or you're trying to meet it head on, and then I think that's what kind of gave you that outer body bionic man
that
feeling that you're
Superman
superhero.
shit,
That's most definitely. And so, what was crazy? So I kind of worked myself up to kind of like this lead line cook there, and I think I'm a badass. But again, my aspirations was always to be in fine dining. And I remember when I first left California, all of a sudden I had all the TK books. I had the sous vide book, the laundry book. I had is it Under Pressure?
Yeah.
Under Pressure is the sous vide book.
The sous vide
I had like 3 of them.
The Bouchon and
I remember them being expensive shit.
Yeah.
Still are, right? But so yeah, so I remember
on like his 20th print or some shit.
That's wild. More than that. That's wild.
Shout out to him, bro.
Yes, most definitely. Yeah. Most definitely. And so yeah, so I'm back. So I know even like on my breaks, I'm over there flipping through the TK books, and so I think the chef was keen on what my focus was, and seeing where I wanted to be with regards to food. And one time I'd submitted for a vacation. And you don't really submit for vacations, at least back then. It's just like, you just work, and then one day you're no longer working here. I mean, it's not really vacation. What's that, right? So one time I was approved for the vacation, and the reason for the vacation was that I was going to stage at Bouchon in Yountville.
Okay.
Went there.
Of course you're a cook and take vacation to go work.
Right.
For free.
For free, right. So
that's how we do.
Yeah, most definitely. Came out for the 3 days. My mind was blown. Chef Phil Tessier was the CDC.
Yeah.
At Bouchon at that time.
He's at press now.
Yeah, killing it.
Yeah.
Per usual.
Yeah. You guys contact info? I'm trying to get him on the show.
Yeah, man,
These motherfuckers be elusive after a while.
Well, he's the Jedi.
I know they're up there. There's like a certain threshold that Sucio Talk hasn't crossed over into yet.
Good luck with that, because you might not get that link through me.
These motherfuckers don't talk,
right? You might not get that link through me. Hey,
fucking, you got affiliates and ties.
Yeah,
the show is underground right now, so.
Hey, you'll get there. The link might not be through me. The guy that would always break the whipped creme fresh during service.
Yeah,
wouldn't have enough mise en place. You're not gonna get that link through me.
So
I know that. You're not gonna. I would love to, but not gonna be through me. All praise due to Chef Tessier.
Right. So you're working at Bouchon.
I'm working at Bouchon, getting my stuff handed to me. Killed. I'm like, that's my first time seeing the dishwasher game. The dishwashers prepping, cleaning. Chef, you want me to cook that for you too? I mean, like they're
talking shit too.
Shit. They're talking about that, but that different shit. So like, oh my God. So I'm seeing this dishwashers running circles around the cooks. Of course, this is Bouchon's mission 1. So now you're breaking everybody now, right?
Yeah.
That's why I look at like mission 1, 1-star mission. They're breaking everyone. All these habits. I'm coming in thinking I'm some hot shit. These dishwashers are kicking my ass. Let alone service. But yeah, you come in and you're running from morning to night. I'm like not even half my size at that point, because you're running and they're running. You're running whether you're on the clock or off the clock. Running. You're supposed to start at 7:30 or 8 o'clock. But if you're there a minute after 5:30, you're not gonna be ready for service.
Right.
So you're working on your own accord, right? Making sure that you're gonna
survive.
And succeed.
Because that's what it takes. Most people don't know that these days. They're like, I want my 4-day work week.
Right.
Well, I hope that on the other 2 days of the week, you're doing something for your career.
Right.
Because if you ain't doing nothing but having your time off, you ain't going to get there. It took me fucking 15 years to get to somewhere where I can be like, okay, now you're a chef professional.
Okay.
Like it takes a long time.
Right.
And so I look at these guys and I'm like, that's because I had 15 years of 100 hours a week. Now imagine 15 years, 50 hours a week. Because half the time you're not gonna get there. Most
definitely, that's true. That's
the worst. Like you don't never want to say you're not gonna get there to somebody.
True.
But also
kill the dream.
sometimes it's the best motivation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Kinda,
All that Michael Jordan slight. Like, what's it?
Had that conversation early on in someone's career, in chef careers. It's gonna might save them some heartache.
Yeah,
Might save them some heartache
for sure.
So yeah. I'm there at Bouchon, get my butt kicked.
Right.
You know, working the first couple stations, seeing all these stars come through the place. I was like, man, this is where I need to be. And the etiquette in the way that people approach food. It's like, yeah, I had to relearn how to, not relearn. I had to learn how to cook.
Right.
I had to learn how to cook at that point. Again, I was like coming from Marriott Autograph Collection.
Right.
Thinking,
you learn how to bang there.
Yeah,
you learn how to
bang. Yeah,
get shit done.
Yeah, but can you do it with finesse?
Right. That's a whole nother level. Yeah.
Right? So I'm there for about a year. Broke as we're living a different life. No Vegas in this life.
Yeah.
No Vegas in this life.
Yeah.
You're making you well under $9 an hour. Maybe
Could you have done real estate on the side during that time?
No.
Real estate's like a full-time, huh?
Not even real estate. It's cooking.
Right.
Cooking at in the Michelin level, at least at that point, if you're not completely bought in,
Right.
like you said, yeah. Now we spend our 2 days off. I'm working on my private business. I'm cooking for a private client or doing something else. But if you're not studying up or still living what your Friday was in a Michelin setting and just having that carry right into your Monday, you're far behind.
You're right.
You're far behind. I mean, if you're not, that's
People that do this every day.
yeah. So you can never catch anybody that's working on their craft every day, 16 hours out of the day. It's gonna show in the long run. Yeah.
So how long you stay at Bouchon?
About a year.
About a year.
About a year. And then I was like,
Where were you living?
I'm
Napa
broken.
or Yountville?
Shoot, I would say half the time I was living in the damn parking lot.
Okay.
Half the time I was, I think I had a place out in Brentwood, but I couldn't drive back and forth.
Yeah,
I couldn't afford to.
Yeah.
Couldn't afford to. I was, trying to be close with my oldest kids, and but I was like, this one, I can't afford to go back and forth. Two, I couldn't afford to be going back and forth. Three, I didn't have the time because you're scheduled for X amount of hours, but you're actually working X amount of hours, right? So it's like, I was completely bought in, and this is what I was planning on doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll say at least 2 days for certain. I just parking lot,
right?
Put the seat back.
Yep.
Yeah, get up, go.
Right. Brush
Go.
your teeth and shit.
Go.
In the bathroom.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Run over to the at that time the bathroom was in. I'm not sure if it's still the same, but the Bouchon Bistro, not Bouchon bakery immediately next door.
Right.
The little, you go over there, you get yourself sorted out, and go. Nobody cares about anything. Are you here and you're ready?
Yeah.
Are you present? Yeah.
Man, TKRG for you.
Yeah, most.
So how'd you know it was time to go?
Oh, it wasn't time. I don't think it was necessarily time to go. But I think just the drastic difference in lifestyle as far as just being so broke.
Yeah.
So broke.
You can justify it as a young cook, but when you're a little,
older, and you have
like,
responsibilities,
then your family looking
right,
at you like,
man, you
the
idiot.
fuck you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing? Your mom's told you when you were this tall that there was no money in this shit.
We didn't move all the way over here.
Exactly. And of course, running back, if you're not a doctor or a lawyer, come from the Caribbean, you're already the failure, right? So if you're not that, it's not nothing else is anything.
Hilarious.
But most definitely. So trying to make it happen, not realizing you were the highest rated kitchens, you're getting paid the least in lieu of this experience. And so I wasn't really ready to leave. I started doing some hours. I started working after hours directly across the street at Villaggio Hotel.
Okay.
Villaggio, they're doing banquets.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden I'm able to, this banquet money is good.
Yeah.
This banquet money sound like it's offsetting. I'm like, okay, now I'm working like 23 hours out of the day now. I'm like, but hey, I could again, some of this, I could breathe a little bit now. I'm like, wait a minute. get this money. And then, of course, and then they're already seeing on my resume, they needed like an F&B manager / cook / all culinary support type position. F&B manager, I'm good with numbers, you know? So I was like, okay, let me go even further and just like take this F&B job. So I ended up, what ended up happening when I did work at Bellagio in the daytime, I'm in a suit. And I already had my suit catalog from my previous life, in my previous life in mortgage finance, it's like a competition as far as, I got a new suit this week. I got a new suit.
Right.
So I had this catalog of suits and nice non-culinary clothing that I was able to just use to go right into this office job. But what I would do, what I used as my in to take that position was that, yeah, I'll be in the suit in the daytime, and when we go do an offsite banquet, I'll switch into my chef whites and we're off doing, Stag's Leap,
right?
Private, most of the surrounding wineries were doing a lot of private dinners and that type of thing. So that's when I started making some money. I slowly started trying to pull away from Bouchon. I was like, okay. I mean, it wasn't. I could have easily did another year. I still tell people that in that 1 year that I worked there, up until maybe several years ago, that 1 year that I worked there, been in the industry for about 13 years. About 13 years professionally now. This might be my 13th year. Somewhere around, 14, 13, around 13 years. That 1 year at Bouchon, I'm still reaching back and grabbing stuff that I use now.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, so people say, yeah. I was like, my first 10 years of actually cooking, that 1 year Bouchon, I learned more in that 1 year than in the next following 9.
Right.
So yeah, it was valuable, and I felt that there was a lot more that I could have extracted from that experience there. But I think I just got just beat down so much. I think I got beat down, and it was like, man, I have approaching culinary a little bit older in life, or entering the industry a little bit older. Yeah, I'm on a timeline.
Right.
On a timeline. Yeah, so most definitely that's definitely instructed or dictated how I moved in the industry. Back in the day, and almost like it feels like back in the day is like a little different now, but back in the day, or when I entered, it's like, it was like the changing guard of culinary, right? I mean, again, before you couldn't take vacation, now you could take some vacation and that type of thing, and all the old school chefs that were kind of like, they were all like burnt out, and they're all like exiting the industry, and it's a little changing guard. I'm trying to think of why I was going that route, but I'm trying to think why I was bringing that up. But it was something to where I feel like I could have extracted more, but I just didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt I was on a timeline, so like a success timeline, and I have to get here, make this move here. I remember, for the TK, the Thomas Keller Group, it was still the culture at that point to where you're gonna have to be there for 6 years before you finally get to your oxygen level first, right? So I was like, well, that's not an option for me. I don't have
that much time. Yeah,
I have maybe 2 years. I got to make the next move.
Right.
So I was like, okay. I found ease in the F&B job, because numbers is home is my numbers are my home. So
right.
And that's getting into the industry is like, yeah, one of my Turkish chef. Oh, you think you're gonna do Turkish chef in culinary school? You think the only thing that you're here for, or once you become a chef, is to make the place money.
Yeah.
Make the place money. You have to understand your food costs, understand your labor, all of these, the regular day-to-day business stuff. But, it's like, make money. I was like, you're in culinary school, eyes wide, like, no, I'm going to be making this. I'm going to do this. And those Le Cordon Bleu commercials are on like heavy repeat.
Right.
They're like, so like, no, I'm going to be the chef of this and this and this. No, make the company money. So I moved on from Bouchon. I was doing the solo job at Bellagio, but again, it was like a dual position. Suit in the day, chef whites at night. And then I'm not sure how I came across Morimoto, but I'm not sure if somebody had referred me over there. But I went over there and started working part time as well.
Okay.
So instead of doing like the offsites for Bellagio, I was like, okay, I'll just do the morning job in the suit, then go work at Morimoto at nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was intriguing because, of course, it was like Iron Chef Morimoto.
Right.
At that time, the draw on people and talent that he had was
He had a lot
amazing.
of people.
Oh my God, yeah. When I went, what sold me when I went, Chef Kong was a CDC. Chef Rodney, he's a TFL. I think he's out there in the city. I can't remember the name of his restaurant right now.
Wages?
Yeah, Chef Rodney.
Rodney Wages was at Morimoto?
He was over there for a little bit. Yeah, a little stint before he went to Saison.
Okay.
Yeah, right before. I think it was. I'm not sure if it was a dual thing.
That's why I'm telling these motherfuckers we need an interactive chef family tree.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody at Octavia, the chef, the pastry chef over there, Melissa, and she used to work for this Boca group, which is Lee Wolin.
Okay.
And I was like, oh yeah, Lee Wolin used to work at Robichon with my old chef in Vegas, right?
Heard.
So she's standing there and she's like, really? And I'm like, yeah, she don't even know that she comes from Robichon lineage. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things that make a chef, a lot of different experiences, and like knowing who those people are, just like knowing your parents and genealogy and shit.
Oh, it's the same.
That's why you do what you do.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely.
So, a lot of that's why TK is regarded as the best, because he's got the most talent out there.
Yeah.
Out of anybody. And after him, it's fucking Robichon, which I think ultimately he's got way more star power, but that's where you make your legacy. It's who you put out there, who your cooks are.
Yes.
And so I feel like this family tree with this tech company, we got to do it. I'm out here saying it every show because I feel like could be a cool website where it's like a Google map. You look at this restaurant, when it was closed, when it was whatever, and it's like a whole lineage and history of us.
Most definitely, because if we were just speaking, if we were to just meet, I mean, that's the conversation. Who are you rubbing elbows with? Who?
Yeah.
Where do you, I've seen that technique right there before, and only so and so does it.
Mm-hmm.
And that might be not a repair. It could be like Robichon potatoes. It's like, oh yeah, only so and so does that. He works XYZ and XYZ, and you connect the dots. It's wild. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And it's like full on lineage, man. There's so many chefs that came before us, and it's like it's cool to know. Who was in that line?
Was there? Yeah.
Who was there? That's why I'm always asking. Like, you worked at Bouchon.
What was the day? What was the date you worked there? Did you work? Yeah,
sous chefs.
Most definitely. This is one of my former people chefs that I've worked with at a few different locations. It's always like it's only us that can have those conversations because were you at Bouchon between the 2010 to the 2014, or were you 2014 2017 Bouchon? Because it's two different things.
Yeah, right. and the older schools always being like, yeah, it was better when we were there.
Yeah, most definitely. It
was harder. Harder.
They don't do that now. Yeah, they don't rotate the oysters anymore.
Exactly.
They only change out the ice. When we were there, we used to rotate every single oyster. Oh my God, yeah. But Chef Rodney Wages, man, he's amazing.
Right.
And
he was at Morimoto.
He was at Morimoto. I think he was just kind of there might have been like temporarily and just really just honing in Chef Kong's focus, I believe. What attracted me, not only that it was just Morimoto, it was that not the heads. I didn't go over there as sous chef. I think I came in maybe with talks of being one of the sous chefs. I might have came in as maybe just CD. Oh, I was doing the chef's tasting menu at Morimoto, the Japanese. I was on omakase with Chef Rodney.
Okay.
And Chef Sean Massey as well. So we'll be over there just getting our butts kicked. But with finesse, because Rodney wasn't about any type of sloppy work. And that really, that connection and that ended up, being a friendship, ended up, playing a big part of my career as well. That and me knowing that a lot of the four heads of that restaurant at that point were all TK. I was like, oh, we all know what we're doing. At least, I was me just being a year in, I may not have knew what I was doing, but I still, I knew what I didn't want to do, right? I didn't want to do any half-assed work. And I know at that point, Chef, the CDC there and Chef Rodney were both making the menus for the other Morimoto locations as well. So I felt like I was a part of that when Morimoto just had the 6 locations. I think 2 of them were his, and then the other 4 were business ventures. So I think since then he's probably doubled up. but being a part of that was exciting. That was exciting. That would be my first open kitchen. Gordon Ramsay was now popular at that point, and so if you're yelling at one of your cooks, when you give your junior sous, and when I got shoulder tap for the junior sous position there, you're the bulldog now. Go fuck him up. Right. We don't do that shit here. So I'm going down the line, just at top of my lungs. Worthless. Why are you here? But the worst. But we do it in the sense to where, or I'm doing it so loud, but I'm doing it for the show, because guests stand up in the audience, stand up in the crowd at their tables,
and clap at you.
Standing ovations for just for
berating cooks.
Yeah, for berating cooks. Most definitely. I'm like, whoa.
So those motherfuckers don't cook no more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
A couple of them do. You know what? A few of them do.
Okay, thank God, bro.
But I think it came from they were already attracted by whatever this.
They were into it.
I
was into it.
Right.
So
the group of people that it attracted, especially at that moment, it's like this glorious time in Morimoto Napa history. And I say it's glorious because it's constant. There's still a lot of private chatter that we have. Private group chatter that we have amongst each other, and a lot of us are still in the industry. A lot of us have progressed and done other great things throughout in the years following. It was I'm not sure what it was. There's something magical about that time and that team. Everybody's everyone went on to do great things. I'm not sure what it was. I'm not sure if it's something with the Morimoto name.
Right.
Or
that's what you could argue. It's obviously there shouldn't be any abuse, but it's all I know is if a motherfucker threatened my life over some risotto.
Oh yeah.
And I'm gonna cook that shit right. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Right.
That's why I'm I get, it's a different time and we can't do that shit now.
Yes.
And honestly, that's why it was easy for me to kind of bow out of Charter Oak, because at that point that's what I was doing.
Heard.
And so when you find yourself in those moments, sometimes I have these moments where they're in the fire, and then I can see myself third person looking at the situation.
Right.
Being man, would my grandmother be proud of this?
Right.
Would my father be proud of this? Who am I making proud? The small dick energy fucking people that can't get anything done without making someone feel like absolute shit.
Yes.
Now it's different because like you said, that restaurant, people were into it. And it was about that. So when you go there, and we still need restaurants like that.
Right.
We need restaurants where everybody's just apologize beforehand. We all know this is business. This is all to get better. And as long as you're not telling them their wife's a piece of shit or whatever it is, then I feel hey, it's all fair game. We all agreed to this.
Yeah. I think and I think in the end, it'll take some processing to understand,
for sure, dude.
That. But at the same time, I know at that point, I saw the what I felt was the power that I had to have people progress, or the power in mentorship, because that's when I'm junior chef. I'm going into, I think at one point I finally accepted the sous chef position there after after the chef was like, nah, you need to come on board full time, sous chef. I'm like, nah, I don't want that. But then he's like, no, come on, forget that other place. You need to come home. And that's so he's like, no, he said this is home. So I was like, we got a TK core here, and we all know that we could make it happen here.
Right. You work with Nico?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nico Lamas?
Yeah.
Yeah, Chef Nico. Yeah.
Yeah. Nico and
Nico, that whole group.
There's a few other fools. Yeah,
hey, everybody from that
era
left and did something great.
Well, that's what I showed up to Napa around that time.
Okay.
And they were all like, yeah, we all work at Morimoto
and it was the Nicos. It was all of them that I was shitting on.
Right.
I was just all of them. Every single one person that was there that was not like Rodney Wages.
Right.
Chef Kong. Oh yeah, you can get it.
You can get it.
You can get it. Most definitely. I was
smoke.
I was definitely about it. I mean, I won't. But going back to what we were saying about like trying to uplift people and noticing that the change in the dynamic of the kitchen. You're having these. I'm not sure. Are you CIA?
No.
Okay.
Dustin Wills.
Salute. But seeing this wave of the CIA grads coming in and not being versed, not as far as etiquette, the expectation of what you expect from someone from CIA, and I'd go all in on them.
Right.
But then at one point I was like, what are you doing? I was like coming down the line, I'm maybe just killing somebody that's probably standing next to Nico. Just saying all kinds of crazy stuff, right?
You're pretty good at it after a while.
Yeah, you can, yeah. But then that, what else? You don't have much to offer after following that. So I think one time I was going down full yell, top of my lungs. So all of a sudden I got lightheaded. Wait a minute, what are you doing, Sean? You gonna have these MFers kill you? I was like, no, it's not. It's not going to happen like that.
It's not like that.
It's not going to happen like that. I think from that day is when I stopped the full on yelling. I mean, of course, I may do it. I mean, following that point, there's times where it's like you need to elevate a little bit and get your point across. But from that point forward, I wasn't doing like yelling to where you could hear me at this. If you're sitting at the
corner over there,
over there across the street, type yell. I'm not doing that, and it's not productive at all at this point. So as you came up, when I hit that sous chef point, then of course you're working on yourself, working on your poise. You're working on you're realizing the strength that you have in mentoring others, and you're seeing how you can almost divide the kitchen as a sous chef because they see you doing the work. Might be talking garbage, but they might see you doing the work. If you're that type where you're actually just you put it all on your back and you make it and you feel it. You let it know. Like I always tell people that like whatever happens in this place it's my fault. I'm accountable. So I was like just showing that you start seeing the strength in that, and then you start realizing again the strength that you have to uplift others. You have the strength or weakness to degrade others as well. But you're able to lift people up, and that's when I was like, mentorship is the next few years. That's when I was like, even though I'm still trying to get to my position where I'm able to get to the point where I'm able to like stretch out my arms and really like do some damage in the industry, or really like make my imprint. But I was like, it ended up just being like a trade-off at that point, even though you're just a little sous chef. But I was like, okay, it's mentorship. My personal growth, mentorship, personal growth. Just like, it's like you have two weights,
right?
So you're just like pulling them along, right? And I'm still trying to struggle for position. I feel in Napa Valley again. You have to put in your tenure, but then also there's not too many chefs of color out there. Especially at that point, it was like black chefs is like me. I knew Chef Daryl Bell from Bouchon. We reconnected at the jazz festival. Dope. Yeah, that was great. That was great seeing him after all these years.
I'm gonna have him
he's
on
doing
the show soon.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Amazing person. was pushing me in that Bouchon kitchen. I saw that he was dialed in, and he saw him. He'd walk in, he'd be like, "How's everything today, chef? Good. Keep pushing." Those conversations with him, and just it was great. It was great connecting with him. But yeah, again, like at the point at Morimoto, I'm just like, okay, I see where I am able to lift others, and that's even more powerful. And like at the same time, yeah, I'm trying to break through the ceiling. Might have been three of us black chefs in Napa. I can't remember who the third one was. And like the guy that does might have done baking over at one of TK's restaurants. I can't remember his name. A much older gentleman. I was like, okay, so now I got to make another move. So like now, I see a few people went over to Auberge, it being a Michelin star restaurant as well. I was like, it's time to go. So I ended up going over there to Auberge, working under Chef Curry, who was still there and thriving. And that was a great experience. I was able to get a lot of not repetition down, but as far as like him, I noticed. I remember like I've always seen people look at him and like when to talk bad about, traditionally talk bad. How is a chef going to leave for dinner service? I see this chef leaving at dinner service. What's he doing? I hear chatter, some chatter, in and out of the restaurant throughout the industry. What kind of chef is leaving during the at the start of dinner service? That's normally his departure time.
Like chef who has a family.
What the fuck? Right. And a chef that has has continued to repetitively gain his Michelin star year after year for over a decade. Yeah. So I know. So sometimes you get caught up in that. Oh yeah. Why is he leaving? Damn. He was able to hire people. I saw it was all in his hiring. He hired people that to where he didn't have to be there day and night. I mean, I'm not sure there's a better way to say that, but so I went from like, yeah. Why is he leaving? He's leaving. I was like, oh shoot, we've been empowered. We're going to dinner service and just like, usually it's like two of us sous chefs that are there. Oh, and we're able to be as creative as we want. We're able to adhere. We have the opportunity to adhere to his rules as much as we want, and I'll make sure that we're maintaining that Michelin star. And then I started like my internal conversations and in some external conversations was like, yeah, Chef Curry, man, he's never here in the evening. He's never here in the evening, and it changed to whoever the fuck got anything to say about Chef Curry. Anything to say about him, come speak to me, right? Because the amount that he empowered us and his sous chefs at that point to and trust that he had enlisted in us to maintain this Michelin star is out of this world, right?
That's leadership right there.
Yeah. That's why I went from that
over motherfuckers and you still get your results.
Right. He'll come in and he'll do this cordial conversation. It's a little more cordial conversation than that of like a Bouchon Bistro. You'll have me. He's looking you in the eye, he's talking to you, and then he continues on about his day. He has people in place. Yeah, he's leading without having to bark it. Yeah. Working with him, being able to bring in, go down to the Marin Farmers Market. That was like always a big thing. That was amazing. I still go out there whenever I'm passing by on Sundays or Thursdays. Kept that a part of my repertoire. Every time I'd heading up to Auberge, I'm running through I can't remember the name of the local vineyards or if they've exchanged hands at the base of the mountain. And I used to go through there and just get all the ground cover. All the fava leaves, all the radish flowers, all the mustard flowers, depending time of the year. There, I'm like, okay, garnish for tonight. We're able to. We're going, right? And that was a great part of my career to where it's like you realize the amount of leadership or the amount in which you can affect trajectory of a young chef's career, going from the realization at Morimoto to and then going to Bouchon, where I'm able to put it into play.
Right.
Play. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
So how long were you up there?
I was up there maybe 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah. I think when I told him I was leaving, it was
bittersweet, huh?
Oh, it wasn't good. I know there wasn't really much conversation following. Because in my mentality, I didn't. Again, I'm the one that's coming up through the ranks, telling my cooks, because I'm like, again, I'm older, right? So I'm like, no, you maximize your vacation time. I don't care what these guys say.
Right.
I'm the one that's like, yeah, no, you maximize this. You take all your vacation time, because the amount of time that this industry is taken away from you.
Right.
You go and do it. But but if I say that around the wrong bunch, you might meet somebody in the walk-in or something, like, no, you shut the fuck up.
Right.
But yeah, I'm the one that's like, no, you maximize your time, because sacrificing our bodies, and we have about 10 years in this industry before we start breaking down.
At a hotel.
I don't want to hear no.
At a corporate hotel.
You better buy in.
Yeah, exactly.
Buy in or get out. So yeah. So yeah, leaving. One of the things was so now I'm in a managerial role. So I'm sous chef. One of the had about maybe 3 sous chefs and 1 kitchen manager, I think, at the time. I caught myself submitting a 2-week notice, and I don't think some people don't understand that 2 weeks is 2 weeks is sufficient. No, not for a manager.
Not for a manager. No.
What the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
You might give me a 2-month notice, and then it may be based on what's going on. Yeah, that might be okay. Yeah, so I'm like, I go to him like almost like smug, and I just hate myself for it. Looking back at it, and like, yeah, I think my time's up here. He just kind of gave me that and you don't realize the power of a Chef Curry, and how that 2-week notice I gave him there affected the next maybe several years of my life.
Right.
But yeah, he just gave me this shrug. He's like, he kind of waited a while. He might have been doing doing the cap on his foie, on his foie gold. Or one of his foie. He's probably doing the cap on it, probably doing the jelly on the top right there. He's just calm. He's just methodical. He's in his element, and I want to come tell him about this 2-week notice I'm going to give him. No, that's cute. That's cute. That's cute. I was like, man, not realizing that I'm just burning this bridge right in front of me.
Yeah.
And and I could see it was unsaid, but I could see where it planted this thing between us for some time until, a few years later in growth, like, go back to him and say, that was BS.
Yeah.
That was completely immature on my part. And I apologize.
Right.
Not sure if I said apologize, but I just said that was BS move on my part. And I regret ever doing so. So
right,
yeah. So that's just more growth, Yeah. After trying to think what was my life was after that. Yeah.
But are you guys cool now?
Oh yeah, we're cool now. On a couple occasions, I ran into him and Chef Paul Lemieux, the pastry chef there from Auberge. Run into them at the farmers market, or just keep up with them online. What?
Paul Lemieux seems like a party. I just look at him and I'm like, he likes strippers. I don't know what tells me that about him, but I'm just like,
it's that smirk. It's that calm. It's like the laugh without the verbal laugh.
Yeah.
He just looking at you with a smile, but he's laughing.
Yeah.
It's most
crazy.
Most definitely.
So do you have a plan when you gave the 2 weeks? Did you have another plan, or were you like, let me take some time off?
I think at that point, I think people are still reaching out to me. Like, I was telling people, like, the imprint that having that Bouchon on my resume.
Right.
From that point, people are reaching out to me like, we're ready to open restaurants with you.
What?
Come to Thailand. I had like 2 like blind offers. Like, come to Thailand, ready to go. You worked for TK at Bouchon. ready to go.
You're ready.
Ready to go. So I'm starting to feel myself. Like I got options now.
Yeah.
Got options. I've been able to work on my cuisine for the, thankful to how Chef Curry is running the restaurant. I was able to do a lot of expressions. So that's when I was able to really start learning what I wanted to do next.
Right.
I was, going through so many years of people, a lot of the older chefs saying, outside of Michelin, molecular gastronomy, F that. Why don't you just cook the effing steak?
Yeah.
I was like, no, it's not different. But then able to exercise all of these methods of cooking there, and being able to go through it at my own pace. At the same time, I'm getting a lot of product from a lot of various companies sending me a lot of quite a few products that they want me to work with. I'm able to I use those products and I gave them to my cooks after hours. What we do, like once we shut down for service, everybody's in such a hurry to shut down. Of course, we're shutting down as you would set up as far as the pace, right? Everybody's shutting down service so we could set up in the whole prep area in the back and start working with all these different ingredients and chemicals and that type of thing. Allowing these cooks that are like they're getting their butt beaten all day and then able to do these cool little things that they see on the Instagram or social media. Able to do that. We're able to do that. Like we'll do that from 10 to 4 a.m. We'll be there from 4 a.m. just working on some just cool, cool other products and stuff. So, you'd ask me about. So my plan. I was feeling myself. Then I was like, I'll find something. Everybody's reaching out to me.
Yeah,
everybody's reaching out to me and that type of thing. So, I think a couple of the cook shows already reached out to me. I was like, oh shit, I'm on my way.
Right.
I was like,
that's it.
Can't tell me nothing. I done. I put
real
in the
estate
work.
money coming back.
That's right. That drug money. But that wasn't the case. I eventually again having to maneuver through the valley. I was like, okay, I'm still on my time thing. I'm only at sous chef now. I've already lateral moved a sous chef job. That's not going to look good. I think I ended up doing another lateral move to another sous chef job. And then I think I had the opportunity to work at Carneros Resort and Spa.
Okay.
With the conversation was that I was, maybe in the after a year I was going to be the exec.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been my first exec gig. I ended up signing on as the exec sous of the property. So you're overseeing farm. What's the name of the breakfast spot? We have farm, Hilltop, and the Red Barn. Everybody knows the Red Barn.
Exactly what you're talking about, man. I love those.
The money maker.
I love them donuts.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah.
I had this server one time. I mean, every time I went there, Boonfly
Cafe.
And
yes.
And I'd order the donuts. First thing I said down, order the donuts. He would never put the order in. And then I'd be like, yo, my man, where's the donuts? He'd be like, sir, you did not order the donuts. And I'd be like, you mother... like, man, just give me the donut.
Heard. Yes.
But awesome place to have breakfast, man. That's a good spot to like elevate your morning in Napa.
Oh yeah. Most definitely. Most definitely.
There,
That was it was either that or what Fremont Diner was the one that was down this road.
But they closed that shit down.
Yeah. But so it was just those two.
Yep.
That were over there. So that place was pumping. I mean, sometimes I go in there on that line. Sometimes my chef would be like, go over there, they need some help today. Go over there and you have those, what do you call the lifer breakfast cooks.
Yeah.
They're you can never outcook them if you wanted to.
Yeah.
I forgot what do you call them? What do you call them like in the Army? You call them like the
grunts.
They're like the reservoir dogs.
Yeah,
that's them. And I was like, there's no possible way. So I know I stepped in on a few occasions, try to act like I'm doing my thing, and then it's like, chef, you gotta go check out farm. Farm's about to open.
Yeah.
Go to Hilltop.
You're slowing shit.
So that's why goodness, it's funny because a lot of people say, oh, I bet you could cook a mean breakfast. I was like, I can't cook no eggs.
Yeah.
I can't cook no breakfast. Unless I'm doing, I can't cook no eggs.
That's a special skill.
Yeah, most definitely.
For sure.
Most definitely.
Those dudes are badass, man.
Badass. Yeah. They're within their own right. Yeah. So,
Crazy. So how long were you there?
I was probably there just either a touch under or a touch over 3 years. I know like both Auberge and Carneros, I was there for a good 3 years.
Right.
I know after a certain point, I was like, I went to chef because he was supposed to be moving to like the chef and being, and I was going to move into that role. I think I think that his move might have got stopped. So my move got stopped. I was like, my whole move coming out of like Michelin was because I was going to be able to get to this plateau or get to this next step in my career. It didn't happen. It wasn't going to happen. I think I was pushing for it. He's like, well, okay. He eventually just said it's not going to happen. I was like, well, that defeats my purpose of being here, you know, respectfully, but I'm on my time, you know, so I'm like, well, at X amount of day, at X date, it's going to be my last. And it's like, maybe it might've been 6 months later.
Yeah.
6 months to this day, I'm going to have to move on. Fine. You know, it's good. It was like, okay, cool. You know, just came to terms with it. Like, damn, just sacrificed another 3 years for what I thought was going to be able to break the ceiling. Like, damn. So what else do I have to do now? Like, if I going anywhere else, I'm going to have to do some type of time. Seems like no one's going to just give me this exact position.
Yeah, it's fucking hard, man. It's elusive.
Yeah.
It's like you think that it's going to be easy.
Right.
Like, that's what I'm coming into now. I'm like, you know, I got executive chef at Charter Oak because I spent so much time with Costal. It's 8 years, bro.
Right.
It's like, I don't have 8 years to give to anybody.
Right.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So you want to come in to an executive chef role, and it's just so difficult.
Yes.
Especially to get owners and people that want to take risks. Nobody wants to take a risk, especially after COVID.
Right.
It's all super safe. Like, oh, no, I don't think.
I want you to have your burger on the menu. I want you to have this on the menu.
Burger, pizza, flatbread, like, you know, and it's like,
definitely.
It just ends up making all the restaurants the same restaurant.
True.
Around, you know, and it's like, I don't want to do a smash burger, man.
No.
Like, I don't want to do one.
I know where to go to get one.
Please don't make me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're like, please don't make me.
Right.
You know?
Right. Most definitely.
And it's like, I don't really know, you know, how to define what the best way to do it is. Cause I've been through, I never fucking did a resume or anything before this past few years. I just fucking walked in and took my shit. That's what you do, you know, but like, you can't walk in off the street and be like, I'll take the executive chef job, please. Like, I'm here to shop.
Right. No, you gotta.
So it's like, you go through these things
sit
and
down
like,
with the
write a
board.
cover letter. And I'm like, whatever. Like, suck a dick. Cover letter, like, I can't put myself on a piece of paper. That's what I've told other places. I'm like, they're like, I noticed you didn't write a cover letter. And I'm like, I can't fit on a piece of paper. I'm not here for that. And eventually they're just like, well, this guy doesn't do what we say. And I'm like, where's the people that want that?
Right.
Where's the people that want to be like, okay, this dude's fucking crazy, but we know he's a good chef, right? Let him go. Let him go. Whatever he wants to do. You know, and now I'm like, well, I do the podcast. And they're like, what's that? You do a podcast?
Podcast,
like,
what's that?
Would you ever consider not doing your podcast? I'm like, no, absolutely not. This is never going away. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, whatever.
Yeah, I'd walk into some places. I mean, I named places after, you know, following Bouchon. I was like, yeah, I worked at Bouchon. I'm going in without resume, without anything else. I'm, you know, hired on the spot.
Right.
And people, you know, calling me sight unseen jobs. So I'm like, I'm not doing no cover letter. I'm not doing no cooking demo.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
I'm not doing none of that. You better check my resume that I don't have. You better check my resume.
Yeah.
I've been through it all. I was like, what?
That's like Vince Staples. He was doing an interview the other day. He's like, these motherfuckers asked me to freestyle. He's like, I already made 18 songs that I'm there to promote. And he's like, now I got a freestyle for you? Like, fuck you, man.
You keep that right.
Exactly.
Right. So that's
like, it's difficult though, man. Cause like, it's like, this is a career where no matter what you did, it doesn't matter. It matters like what you're doing.
Right.
And like, it's not like doctors or lawyers where a lawyer could be like, you see all these cases I won?
Right.
And then, you know, a doctor would be like, look at all these lives I saved and look at this school that I went to. We're like, yeah, I worked at this restaurant. I made this dish. Look at this picture online. And people are like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but that last Yelp,
Yeah, exactly.
That last Yelp,
Man.
looks like you were slipping. You had an off day, Chef?
Right.
Are you good?
Right.
Giving up?
It's just like sports, man.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have stats. We don't have a full batting average or whatever the fuck.
Yes.
So how do you know how many steaks you burned in your career? You don't. And even the best chefs will burn some shit or like will do some stuff that's not the best.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
And so it's like, let's just be real, and understand that we all have weaknesses and we're all not the best always.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like then I can be, but I really want to figure out a way to help the people that were sous chefs get to that executive chef role without any problems. Because it's usually, like you said, leaving a place, even if you gave a 2-week notice, like, fuck, man, you put in 2 years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And like the only thing that is looked at is like, oh, he gave us a 2-week notice.
That's it.
Whatever you did for the last 2 years doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. It's like, come on, man.
It
bullshit.
It sucks. So I'm not sure. Just it is what it is. But I think that was a part of the culture.
Yeah, for sure.
I think
it's a lot easier now.
Now people just leave this day of chef. This is my last day.
Yeah.
Last day? Not even tomorrow? No.
Yeah.
Today.
No 2-week notice. Yeah.
Today.
Yeah. Or they just text you. I'm not coming in. It's my last time.
Last time? Yeah, that was it. This is the last time you're gonna hear from me. Oh yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's wild now. It's wild. Yeah, so the day was coming up on my my last day. COVID was coming, or COVID had just hit, and everybody knew I was me. I'm a person that's always extra loud about what my next move is, because I want kind of like, it's like my way of challenging myself, even all the way throughout the kitchens. Oh, chef, you better not burn that. I'm talking to myself. You burn that, get the fuck out. I'm talking to myself. But I've kind of like keeping myself accountable around like my counterparts. Sam, you better not burn that because we're gonna talk bad about them.
Right.
But so like me, I'm like, well, you guys know my last day's coming up. I'm kind of, last day's coming up. What do you got going on next? I don't know. I'm gonna get to it though. COVID hit. COVID hit, and it was like, okay, we're already reducing our staff. Should we just go ahead? I think I talked to Chef. I was like, should we just go ahead and just part ways now? I mean, because there's no work. We already have not my counterpart, but my next in charge that's already been trained up when we're busy. Because at that time you're not thinking that's going to be closed, shut down. You're going to just reduce force and just get through it. So I just like, okay, well, why don't I just part ways? I have an offer on the table. It's for Gravity Tavern out in Mill Valley. Have an offer on the table. Might as well we just part ways now and lessen your the labor dollars, free it up, and you already have somebody that could do the job at the level of business that we're doing now, and they could continue to learn.
Right.
Cool. You go your way, my way. We're still good. Chef Aaron Meneghelli. So it's crazy. So yeah, so COVID is when I was able to achieve my exec job.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is then weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of weird, right? Like, everybody's like falling back.
We ain't got no jobs.
Right.
And then you're like, yeah, I'm an executive chef.
I'm still commuting. Everybody's like, no, we're on vacation now. I'm like,
bro,
I'm still commuting.
It's the same thing for me when I was at Chartereau, and God bless fucking Chef. He just kept paying me.
Okay.
He paid me my full salary. And I'm like, God damn, bro. If he hadn't done that, I'd have gone down in flames,
You did.
And so I was like, sort of kind of weirded out by COVID, and I experienced it different than everyone else because I didn't have to quarantine.
Okay.
I had the key to the restaurant. I was the chef. I could just roll over there.
Yeah.
And be in this big ass place that, wasn't my apartment. Everybody was going fucking crazy. And I'm just like, fuck it, let's just go to work. I commute to work every day. I went to work at least 4 hours, 2 hours, whatever it is.
Okay. Okay.
And so now coming on the end of that, maybe that's why chefs and owners aren't taking risks. But I feel like we're about to 2024 is going to be a better year for restaurants and people going out and actually having money to go on vacation.
Okay.
Because a lot of people had to save for a couple of years to get back to where they were.
Most definitely. Yes.
And so I think we're going to see an influx of new young cooks, of people going out to eat, and so it's only going to be better for all of us.
That's inspirational. Seeing the next, because sometimes me stepping out of Napa, stepping out of Napa into the Bay Area, to the Bay Area scene. Yeah, it's been culture shock for me.
Yeah.
You know, it's been rough. Just you're dealing with people that are, you know, that were culinarians. Now you're just dealing with cooks or some people that, for the most part, people just punching the clock.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was a pre-COVID thing as well, but that's been like the rough part. And it's nice to see when you do catch like a glimpse of Bocuse d'Or still pumping along.
Yeah, man.
Seeing the ACF
it's important,
chef
man.
Still, yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
That's like, oh man,
Yeah.
the hope is still there completely.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of cooks. It's like the cool thing to do to hate on James Beard and Michelin. And,
Right.
you know, they have their shit to figure out just like everyone else does. But
Yeah.
I think that since we're been in the industry for so long, we're kind of jaded. And so sometimes you have these chefs that are like, oh, those don't mean shit. And it's like, bro, they only don't mean shit because you haven't got one and you think you should, or you already got them.
Right. That's
And
it.
like a person who already got them shouldn't be saying to somebody else that they're not important.
Right.
Because there's some kid out there somewhere that needs that inspiration to get
Yes.
the fuck out of his neighborhood or whatever the fuck he got going on, you know?
Definitely. Most definitely.
So it's for them. It's not for us. And
Right.
so, but every other chef is just like, oh, they're not for me, or they weren't this, or they were that, or now they're in this city and they were paid for. And I'm like, yeah, of course they're paid for.
Heard.
Like they got a staff.
Right.
They
Most
need to write the book.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
I'm sorry.
Most
Like,
definitely.
you know, it's like shit costs money.
Heard.
And
Most
it's like when you're a personal chef, same, I'm sure you get this. It's like, oh, well, that price is way too expensive. And you're like, you're not just paying for this dinner, you're paying for the experience
Yes.
that's coming with this dinner. Like,
Most
it
definitely.
took 15 years to charge you $200 per person.
Right.
You know? And now you're going to tell me that it's too much? I'm like, people don't realize how much chefs cost. And so I feel like we get just lumped into this. And I don't know if you have felt this before. There's like levels to millionaires. You know, there's like levels to being rich. There's like the people that are wealthy, then there's the people that are like fucking super well off that don't have to worry about it. And when you personal chef, sometimes you fall in with the lower rung where they're just trying to like squeeze shit out of you for a lower
most
amount of
definitely.
money. And you're like, oh, no. It's just you can't afford a personal chef yet. That's it.
That's it.
Like,
That's
it's
it.
not like I'm expensive.
It's
like
black and white.
you ain't rich enough yet for this.
Right.
You think you are, but you ain't. Okay? And it's like it's a hard realization to have with people sometimes, man.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, you see that based on who the clientele that I'm cooking
Yeah.
for, privately. Yeah, you see the range. You most definitely see the range.
That's crazy,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
And so after all that, you got your executive chef job, and what does the future hold for you, man? What are you doing? You want to have your own spot? You want to move out of California? You want to go back to Jamaica?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I could deal with cooking back in Jamaica. I don't know. Not sure. I'd love to go back sometime. I'd like to go visit and cook on maybe a short-term level there. Just the familiarity with the produce. I like to regain some of that because a lot of the produce you can't get here.
Mm-hmm.
Trinidad, I'd love to do that. I've been talking to a few people about maybe going back and doing a culinary type of, I'm not sure how you do it, like cooking demo in Jamaica.
Right.
That and Africa as well. We can do another former fellow chef that may host that as well.
They should do a fucking cruise.
A cruise
From Jamaica to Africa, bro. Straight
a cruise, heard.
Take it back. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Going the other way, motherfucker. Like, for real. Let's fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, get
Heard.
7, 8. I mean, Top Chef does cruises.
Heard.
There's ways to do it, bro.
Heard.
Nowadays.
Okay.
Because there's so many cruise ships that are decommissioned and shit you can buy used and rent.
Right.
Bro, there's a whole
really
world out there, man.
Sheesh.
Yeah. I mean, they do fucking, I know Chris Jericho, the wrestler.
Yeah.
He does cruises. They do professional wrestling cruises, bro.
Okay.
So I'm like,
oh man, it's
like,
there.
That'd be a dope ass gimmick, bro.
It's there. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. But yeah, I mean, like short term. I mean, I really want trying to get solidified at least in the year to come.
Yeah.
Maybe both of those outlets. Yeah, I mean, next, I mean, trying to figure out a way to where I'm not having to be in the kitchen 14 hours out of the day. I mean,
I hear that.
Mentioned earlier that clothing line. I'm trying to I like the arts page.
Yeah, plug that in a little bit. What is that all about? What are you trying to do?
People have always said like with the arts page. It's a seikoartistry.com. It's just pretty much Sean Anthony and Company. My primary side company is Sean Anthony and Company. It's just like another variation of that, and it's just I've always seen like the artistic approach to culinary. I've always had people say, "Oh, that looks too good to eat," or what is that, or you're all these these techniques that we learn in these like a lot of the Michelin star kitchens that a lot of the primary most of the public don't have any idea as to what you did to modify this ingredient to make it look like XYZ or how the end product. And so I'm doing that, and I'm getting throughout my career toggling within Michelin, outside of Michelin, and having this larger clientele base or this following, and they're a lot of them are just like wowed by the presentation. And to me, the whole, again, going back to the whole culinary arts thing, I look at it as being artistry or artist work. So I was like, why don't I get like a company that will put my the photos of my food on prints. I haven't seen others do it, and I've seen other people that are that I felt that should be able to do it, or they have the
resources.
Yeah, they have the resources to do it. So I was like, yeah, let me do this and see how it goes, even if it doesn't really make like a big splash on the money.
Right.
It was my outlet to let me just get it to this point. Cause I remember I've sold just a few prints on the website, but I just wanted to get it there to where I could get this release. It's like this release. I was like all my nicer plated dishes. I wanted to get them to where people could, if they wanted to, people that are saying, or it looks like too good to eat, it looks like an artwork, I would hang it on my wall. Like through this website, you're able to order your framework, order the photo, click on the photo if the dimensions, and have it on your wall.
Dope.
And just have people just have a piece of the artwork. That was just one of the things that the last 4 years, it's just been those things I needed that release, as far as just like when you're working on a dish in the kitchen, like me, I'm doing a side by side. I'm like, if I'm working on a new dish, I'm doing two versions of it, like real time.
Right.
Doing one to the left, one to the right. And I'm, and it's, plating a dish is, to me, it's very personal.
Mm.
It's very, think of the other word. It's very personal. It's cerebral. It's very, you leave the kitchen for a moment when you're plating up your dishes. Like, you have all your meat spots here. Now it's like, everybody step. It's like, step back. I mean, I'm not sure if you don't verbally say it, but it's just like, okay, I'm ready to go. Now I'm just like elsewhere.
Right.
Immediately go elsewhere. Then you do your last component, then you kind of step back, and then like everybody kind of fades back in. I'm not sure if I'm explaining it right, but
no,
that's kind of like the feel. That's kind of like the feeling. So that's why I really wanted that artistic outlet with the Seiko artistry, the Seiko clothing line. Just more artistic outlets. I'm able to, I have a drop shipper and all that type of stuff. It's easy for people just to click and have a shirt. Could be custom clothing. It could be something with an art dish that I've done,
right?
Artistic dish I've done, and they could have it to them in 10 days as well. So I'm just trying to throwing a bunch of stuff at the wall. Just trying to get it to where it's like, okay, what am I going to do next? So the thing that always plays back in my head is like what Master P always says: product outweighs talent. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get that product. Trying to get the product there to at least support my efforts,
right,
in giving back to the art of culinary.
right.
There's a lot of other, and in the meantime, it's just like you're talking about having that network is something that I play with in my head as well. Having that network to allow that you could help that chef get to that ceiling, and sous chef to junior to the exec position, or that type of thing. I always looked at like we should be able to have something in our kitchens or built in to where, yeah, you do have people that are sacrificing a lot of their day-to-day time, their families and lives. Put something in place, at least giving them the knowledge of like, okay, the next 10 years you're going to be head down in the kitchen, or however long it may be. Maybe you want to start investing at this point of your career, or you should start doing this, going towards your house, where you're going to want to live in the future. Your travel and gaining of knowledge. It's like something that, I think that's something that cooks could benefit from, having that resource as well. It's like, there's a bunch of things. I have a prospective job out in Atlanta that we're working on as well.
Okay.
So that's like a culinary director job. Speaking with the people here at Lita, the family here at Lita, we're speaking about maybe doing other Lita locations, but on a partnership level as well. All of that stuff's like in there right now. It's just like which one's gonna stick? Which one's gonna stick? Because I'm gonna say winding up. winding up.
So Lita, right here is where we're at in Walnut Creek. What street are we on?
Bonanza Street.
1602
Bonanza Street. Okay. Yes.
And then what is the food? What is the?
I think the food,
inspiration behind the menu, and like what are you trying to do here?
Oh goodness! I think when ownership had built the place, they were looking for Caribbean, Miami. They're looking for sexy.
Right.
I think what happened is I think my career and my life is kind of like encompasses what it is that they were trying to achieve. I have the Caribbean culture, Jamaican, Trinidadian. I've experienced experienced Miami itself. Yes.
Miami.
And that's what it was. Like, the Floridian culture, Caribbean culture.
Kodak.
It says, it makes sense. I mean, it just, so when we did start speaking, it was like, okay, it's hand in hand. So we go hand in hand with each other. And so
these things, I feel like, as soon as you walk in and meet the person, like, or whatever, in this industry specifically, you sort of get that feeling, and I'm sure like they're business-minded people. They had this restaurant concept in their brains of what it looks like when you walk in, what the chef looks like.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Who he is, what his background is.
Yes.
And when you walk in the door and then you say, oh no, I'm from Jamaica and Miami, they're like, what?
Look at the dreadhead behind the counter. Exactly. Oh yeah, we good. We're gonna eat good tonight.
Exactly.
We're gonna eat good tonight.
Exactly, bro. Because sometimes you be walking into these places, and I'm not naming nobody, but out here, you walk into these sushi spots, it'd be nothing but blanquitos in there.
Right.
Now, what's going on here? But and then again, I was opening up a fucking Italian restaurant. So what are you gonna do? Hey. That's all I know about that shit. You know what I mean?
Hey, most definitely.
Crazy,
most
bro.
definitely.
But dude, thank you for being on the show. I really appreciate it, man.
Thank you for having me.
Hell yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Hell yeah. I will be a supporter always of you and this place and whatever you do next. And I can't wait to have you on again at some point to discuss the future and whatever else you got going on, man.
Most definitely.
Fuck yeah.
Yes, sir.
Chef Sean.
Thank you.
Man.
Thank you, Chef.
Hell yeah, bro.
All right.
Susio Talk podcast. I haven't done one in a while, but I'm back on a roll. We're going to have Chef Amri Aflalo here. Should be next week. That's Miller and Lux out in Oakland. We'll see. Any chefs out there who want to be on the podcast and live in the Bay Area, let's make it happen. I'm getting my shit together, so I'm trying to do like 3 or 4 episodes a week.
I heard
that.
You're on the timeline.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go.
Very nice. Good.